everyone, it's Anja here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are having a look at the Kiss blanket. So I started this blanket during a live at the end of 2019 because I thought I needed a blanket not only for during the live, but also I wanted a bed project. And what makes this blanket unique is really I am making it, but you guys, all my subscribers, have decided on the pattern. So you decided you wanted a rectangular granny square blanket, so that's what you're getting. And you guys are also choosing the colors. So if you're not a member of my Facebook group yet, go to the Facebook group and request to become a member, because from time to time I will put up a post there saying, can you give me a couple of colors? Now, the colors we are talking about are, of course, let me just get one out, the Starcraft Special DK. So even if you don't have any, go online, find the color, find the names of the colors, because those are the ones that I'm using. So for example, this is Toy, we have Pomegranate, we have Blush, we have Wisteria, Turquoise, so that's the color names that you have to give me. So not a light blue or not a dark green, because that's not in the range. Okay, so make sure you have a list near you. Then when you put a comment with a color, and if it then receives one of those green ticks from the emojis, then that's your color added to the list. Okay, so at the moment this is where I am, and I have several in my bag here. I have several leftovers still to do. See, look, several colors that I haven't done. I've put them in order so I know which ones I have to do. So I will ask for about 4 or 5 colors in one go, because then I can keep taking them, putting them in my project bag, and then I can have it next to my bed, and then I don't have to be getting up all the time, because of course I have to go to my stash to get the colors out. Now, if I don't have the color in my stash, it happens, then, or I've run out maybe, then I just put, I don't have the color, can you give me another one? But again, you then start again after all the other ones. So if I then see that you put one straight away, it might get a tick, but if you wait too long and I've got the 5 already, then I might not, but I haven't been that strict. I have then accepted a 6th color or a 7th or an 8th even. It doesn't matter, as long as I have an amount of colors to add to my list, and then I close that post down, so I don't allow any more comments. So that's it then until the next time. Okay, so don't feel put out if you haven't had any colors accepted yet, because of course, look, I'm only there yet. Okay, I've only done about 20 colors or something like that, so there's a lot more to come. There's no rush with this blanket. Okay, there's, I'm going to be working on it during the lives, as I said, but also, as my bed project, we're traveling soon, so I'm going to be having this in the car with me and things like that. So before I leave, I will then ask for 10 colors or something, so I have them ready in my project bag. So it is such a fun blanket, because of course I am not choosing these colors. It's unbelievable, and people are sort of checking to see if there's enough green, and do we need some pinks now or whatever. Well, I hope they are anyway. But yeah, we've had lovely combinations. Look at this. Okay, so yeah, I am really enjoying making this blanket. I'll put that away for now. Yes, I have not sewn in all the ends yet, but I have in the beginning. Look, all these are gone. So I am keeping on top of it. So I'm being good. So of course, you want to know how to start this blanket yourself and how to get the same colors, right? So in this video, in a moment, I am going to start off again with the same colors, so I can show you exactly what I did. And then of course it's a repetition of the rows after that. For the colors, obviously, I'm not going to have any idea what the colors are going to be like until I finish the blanket. But every 20 colors, I have been putting a post in the Facebook group. So again, make sure you're a member of that Facebook group to be able to participate and to be able to copy this blanket. I am also going to do a post on my WordPress blog and that's also called Ophelia Talks, so go and have a look at that. It's not up just yet, I don't think. It might be, but there will be a post eventually which will state all the colors. So I might just do week 1, week 2, week 3. So I'll just split them up in sections of 20 colors, and then I'll add to that post, and then you can go there to get all the colors if you want to make the exact same blanket. Of course, if you're also doing it from your stash, feel free to replace the colors with a similar color if that's the one that you have and you don't have that particular color. So I think I've said everything I need to say about this blanket. So it's called the Kiss Blanket. Keep it simple, sweeties, because that's our little saying, and that's something that someone came up with as well during that live. So I've been calling it the Kiss Blanket. It's a collaboration. Okay, we are all working on this blanket together, even though I'm doing the sewing in the ends. So yeah, I can't hide those ends in the border this time, but I am keeping on top of sewing them in, so I think that's okay for now. So let's get started on the tutorial. So I'm just going to put this to the side here so we see the first sort of 3 colors. So what you will need obviously is Starcraft Special DK. That's the range that I use most and that I have all these leftovers from. I also have a 3.5 hook. This is the hook I normally use for this type of yarn. If you normally use a 4 or a 4.5, please go ahead and use the one that you normally use. I've got scissors, of course, and of course you also need a darning needle for those pesky ends. So the first color is Sherbet, and let's get started on that middle bit here. So once you've created that, it's fairly easy to get started then, because it's then just like a normal granny square, to be honest. So we have a slip knot. We are going to do 21 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 21. Then, looking at the V's, you're going to count back 6 V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the 6th one, yarn over, insert, pick up 2 bits if you can. You are going to do a granny cluster of 3 double crochets. There we go. So yarn over, insert into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's your 3 double crochets in the 6th stitch. Then we continue along our little line here, along our little chain, by skipping 2 stitches, working in the 3rd and picking up 2 bits, placing 3 double crochets into that 3rd stitch each time. Then 1, 2 into the 3rd, 3 double crochets. There we go, and the 3rd one. And another set into the 3rd stitch, 3 double crochets. So we need to do 5 lots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 4, so another one in the 3rd stitch, and there we go. So now you have 1, 2, 3 chains left. In the 3rd chain you are going to do 1 double crochet to finish your line. There we go. So this is our starting base almost, so that's your first row done. Now we are going to cut off the yarn and of course pull it through like so. Then we take toy, and we are going to make a slip knot as usual. We are always going to start with a standing stitch. So you put the loop around your hook, you yarn over, and then you insert where you are going to get started, and we are going to do a cluster of 3 double crochets into that sort of opening here that we created just now. Then we are going to do 2 chains into that same opening, another cluster, 3 double crochets, another 2 chains, and we do another cluster in there. So really we've sort of created our side. So if you sort of scoot them over a bit gently like this, you can see that that's sort of going to be the side of our rectangular granny cluster. Or rectangular granny better. Then we are going to work our way across to the other side. So we are going to place granny clusters in between the clusters of that starting base, for lack of a better word. So just 3 double crochets each time in between the clusters. So we're not picking up any more V's, we're just doing the clusters. There we go. Right. And then when we get to this end here, we do the same as here. We are going to place 3 lots of 3 double crochets with each time 1, 2 chains in between. So the second lot, and then 1, 2, and the third lot. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, we've now done the 2 sides and 1 long side. Now we are going to move all along this line here to get back to the start, again by doing clusters of 3 double crochets. So now really we've established that we have long sides and short sides. The third row we will make the corners and then we're off basically. So that will be you started on this kiss blanket. So what I do now, I look for this here is that standing stitch. For me this closes up, so I can't get in there. So I go to the next V that I see, which is the V of this middle double crochet here. I go under that and I do a slip stitch like so, and that slip stitch then really becomes the top of my standing double crochet, so it gives it a V on top of it. Okay, so this is my blanket for now. Cut off your yarn, pull it through, hold it to the back, and what you can do here, because you've got your 2 ends sort of at the same height, I give them a little knot, just, you know, to secure them. Now you can't really take your ends along because you've got openings in between and you would see them lying there. If they were the same color, maybe you could take them along, but no, you can't really do that, so you have to sew them in. So when I sew them in keeping into the same color. So the sherbet I will sew in into these clusters here, the toy I will sew in into the toy clusters, obviously, because otherwise you are going to see that as well. So let's now move on. As you can see, I'm sort of pulling it into the shape that it needs to be. Now let's move on to doing our third round. Again, slip knot, insert your hook, tighten it round your hook. Now I always try and start sort of the same place where I finished, and then that will sort of gradually move along, but that's fine. So holding on to the ends, and that's made a little bit easier with doing those knots. You start doing your clusters. There we go. So a standing stitch is, you know, you're sort of pretending you're crocheting already and you just do the stitch. There we go. Okay, so now here we have the locations where we are going to need to do a corner. So a corner we are going to do by doing 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and 3 double crochets into that same space there. There we go. So that's our first corner done. Next we are going to do a corner here, the same thing, 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and you sort of turn it and you do another 3 double crochets. There you go. So that has sort of established our first corners. Now we are going to go along the side and we are going to do clusters in between the clusters of the previous row. There we go. And of course in the beginning your rows are short and you will advance quite a bit, but towards the end just treat it as a, you know, it's a long row, but it doesn't matter. Just do part of the row if it's too long, or just enjoy crocheting long rows. Okay, so there we get to the side here, and again those are the locations where we need to do our corners. So let's do them. Oh yes, this third color is called Clematis. Yeah, so for the list of the colors, do go to the Facebook group where I will have a post as an announcement, or to my blog where I will put regular posts up, or where I will amend the post with all the colors. So there we go. So that's one corner done. Now we do the next corner, because of course we need 4 corners. Two chains and another 3 double crochets in that same location. There we go. So we've got our corners. So in the next round you will notice that here between the 2 corners that you're doing, you're actually going to be doing clusters as well, because of course all your rounds, all your rows are going to start growing. So let's do the next side. All across to where we started. And here we are. So once again, skipping the standing stitch, go under the next V and you do a slip stitch. And that's the end of that color. There we go. See? And this is how you are going to continue. So each time you start again where I finished, then I do this bit here. You do your corners in the corners of 2 clusters, so 3 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets, and then of course in the next round you're going to have space to do clusters here as well. So you will start doing clusters, you know, more and more on the side, so that side will grow as well, and these of course are growing as well. So that way you will continue, and of course, yeah, see how big it gets, see how we do. Like I said, there's no rush for this blanket. I'm just going to work on it as and when I can manage, basically, and I will be asking you for more colors when I need them. So be there on the Facebook group to be able to contribute to this blanket. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! If you've enjoyed this video, please do consider sharing it with others. Thank you so very much for watching, and I also hope to see you on our Facebook group. Join me there!